with that, guys, I wanted to talk about Gears Esports. And we're coming off of a massive, massive weekend. And a huge weekend. I mean, for Gears of War and Gears 5 Esports. So I want to talk about this, guys, and kind of preface, what Gears Esports means to me. And I should probably even preface this around, like, what I really feel about esports around Gears of War as a whole is it's something that is so unique. It's unique unlike any other esport out there in the world. And I am incredibly excited about what happened this past weekend, and I'm excited for the future. Now, obviously the future is uncertain at this point in time. However, guys, Gears Esports tweeted out saying, "Pure domination. UIU shuts down the Pittsburgh Knights and everyone else to be your 2019-2020 Gears Esports major champions." So, of course, guys, congrats. Big up to UIU for winning. This is, of course, guys, the most dominant, squad. Pretty much mental and explosive. These two guys have been together for so long. Even Kenny has been a part of the squad for on and off over the years, but really the center of this team and the heart of this team is explosive and mental, and they have done an absolutely incredible job at being so dominant throughout the Gears titles. I would have to argue, guys, that they are some of the most dominant esports players in all of esports as a whole. It's an incredible thing to watch, and it was a lot of fun, guys. It was a huge weekend for Gears Esports as a whole. UIU did an incredible job. They dominated. It was an absolute domination. They were showing that, once again, that they are the best in the world, and it's not even close. And so with that, I was really excited for UIU. Of course, wanted to see, it's always nice to see other teams like really compete and be able to kind of get one up on the champs. But UIU, even any time that they're down, they bounce back in a major way. And I think that has to do a lot with their leadership, that being, of course, explosive. Mental, doesn't seem like he talks a whole lot, but his play kind of tells the story, just how well he plays. And I mean, the rest of the guys, man, praised. And I mean, of course, Ashes is an incredible coach. Powers, I mean, this is a great team overall. I'll be excited to see what they do in the future. Now, this leads me into the second part of this. And, at the end of the day, guys, I absolutely love Gears Esports. However, one of the big things that has been coming around from, a number of, people within the community or even outside the community is the uncertainty that lies ahead for Gears Esports. I'm going to go to a tweet, guys, that came out from Jacob Hamilton. He tweeted out saying, "People are lost. Gears of War needs to be put down, euthanized, taken behind the garage, if you know what I mean. Game gets 1,000 viewers, barely any money, the game itself sucks. So you can't say you play for fun. What are you competing for? The attention of 100 people." So let's put this into context. And first of all, I'm sure Jacob was, he was exaggerating on a little bit here, but some of it I'm wondering, where some of it is just, purely false. But what I will say is this, guys. I think there's definitely an issue within the community regarding Gears of War esports. And right off the bat, he says that the game gets 1,000 viewers. Well, if we look at what Gears of War has done the past 3 days, which was, of course, for the major, pretty much the world championships of Gears of War, we can see at the top, Gears of War. So the official Gears of War stream it peaked at 15,000 viewers, average 7,256 viewers. And look, at the end of the day, guys, I have to obviously with this, and this is going specifically to Twitch, whereas, obviously it's streamed on YouTube and elsewhere. And so what I'm getting at is this. I remember there was a number of times I was watching all weekend long and really enjoying a lot of the games. And so, sure, is this a game that is getting hundreds of thousands of views or like 50,000 average viewers? No, it's not doing those types of numbers, guys. But put this into context. Gears 5 and Gears of War as a whole is an exclusive to Xbox. And so it's already kind of put in a box right off the bat. But these are actually really good numbers for Gears of War, in my personal opinion, from an esports perspective. Now, you could say that maybe they got these numbers because of, the World Championships. But I disagree that Gears of War is a dead game. I think it's more so the community that, with the complaining and such that goes on in the community is becoming, a major issue, in my opinion, when it comes to Gears of War and the future of Gears Esports. I'll go back to this because I wanted to look at some of, I looked at some of the comments here. Jippery McCloud, of course, had a pretty funny emoji, but No Mercy Brian, he went ahead and he tweeted responding, saying, honestly, the reason why I have to truly debate if it's worth going into next year. Top teams want thousands and low-end teams don't make it into the money or on stream. Lose-lose for me as an org owner, so at this point might be the time to walk away no matter how much passion. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I mean, there is going to be this comment, I really should say the tweet as a whole, got a little bit of both sides. Deluxe, he tweeted saying, I've been around Gears since day one. To me, it's still my passion. I think a very passionate community. If someone doesn't have that passion anymore, there's nothing holding them here. The game hasn't always been what everyone wanted, but it's going in the right direction now. And I love that comment by Deluxe. I'm 100% on board with it. And I agree with what he's saying here. Because look, it's not one of those things. It's a very passionate community, in my opinion, as well. It's not like the game is, it's holding somebody here or something. If they want to move on, some of these teams can move on to other games and such. But what I will tell you is Gears of War as a esport, as a game, is one of the most passionate communities I've ever seen. And it's one that's had gone through some significant peaks and valleys throughout the course of time. But I 100% disagree with Jacob stating that, this is a game that just needs to, the plug needs to be pulled on this as a game and as an esport. That's just, this is one of the flagships of Xbox. And as far as the esports scene goes, look, there's way more of a Gears esports scene currently than a Halo esports scene, and it's not even close. Now, will that change? There's a potential that changes with Halo Infinite. It's hard to say. I would assume so, with Halo Infinite going free to play as far as the multiplayer is concerned. But I disagree with this as a whole. This is the problem, in my opinion, is actually with people within the community complaining about everything under the sun when it comes to Gears of War. It goes from pro players to the community. The problem is, guys, is when you have comments like this from Jacob Hamilton, the problem with that is simply that, Gears of War is one of those titles, because it's not as big as something like Call of Duty or one of these other titles out there, it can't really, necessarily be sustained long term with a lot of backlash and such from the community. The community, whether or not you are, if you're passionate about Gears of War and you love this franchise, then you should be hoping for the success of it. You should be supporting your favorite streamers, supporting your favorite content creators, supporting, watching the esports scene as a whole. You should absolutely be doing that if you want to see this game continue in the future. As far as barely any money, for a game of this size, that being Gears 5, a lot of these players aren't necessarily, sure, they're playing for a paycheck, but at the end of the day, they're also playing for bragging rights, right? This is a very passionate esports scene as well. This esports scene as a whole, these guys are passionate with what they, and prideful of, what they've accomplished and things of that nature. So all I'm getting at, guys, is I don't like it when we have people in the community. If Jacob doesn't like it, well, we don't need people like that in the Gears as a whole community, because I think at the end of the day, it really almost creates this infection within the community. And what happens is see, for example, with Call of Duty, if there's an issue with the game, the meta, or people are talking like there's one of the weapons in the game that's too OP or something, sure, there's going to be, some buzz around that if pro players are saying that. But at the end of the day, there's such a much bigger fan base that is, Call of Duty as a whole. So it's more sustainable than with Gears of War, when you have a lot of people giving, real negative feedback and hate towards the, the creators, that being like the coalition, the developers and such. So what I'm getting at here, guys, is that we as a community have to support each other moving forward. It's going to be very important, and I believe that Gears 5 is in a great position with Operation 4. This argument is terrible, and I think that Jacob, unfortunately, is at this point in time, whether he has always been a hater, I'm not sure, or if he was just, somebody who doesn't like the direction it's going. I really do. These numbers, guys, are showing me, at least, that there is growth ahead, right? Whether we're talking from Gears 5, we're talking Gears 6, we're talking about just Gears Esports as a whole, there's growth here, guys. 15,377 peak viewers. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at when we're talking about an exclusive title. Is it as big as some of these other titles? Absolutely not. But this is a great stepping stone for what could be coming, and of course the next seasons of Gears, of Gears Esports. So with that, guys, I certainly want to know in the comment section, or in the live chat, what you guys think about this. The uncertainty around Gears of War and Gears Esports is a real thing. It's absolutely a real thing. Do I believe that Gears, Esports is going to continue? Absolutely. I believe it needs to continue because this is one of the best esports out there. From a viewership perspective, I think it's incredibly fun. The trash talk's amazing. It's very unique. It needs to coexist with other esports out there, guys. And I don't even think that it's even a debate at this point. We need Gears of War Esports. We might need Halo as well. We may need other games too, and that's fine. But Gears Esports needs to continue, guys. And I think that it's people in the community spreading negativity, whether it's towards the coalition, towards the game. Look, I'm totally fine with people giving, their opinion on certain things, but I think there's a way in which you got to go about it in a civilized way. And obviously we want to echo what we want into existence with specific ordeals within the game, whether it's meta, balancing, new game modes, things of that nature. I just think that we have the way in which that we go about it, guys, needs to be a little more civilized sometimes, because I think sometimes the coalition is getting, completely, they get hit so hard with so much negativity, and at the end of the day, it's not good for anybody. But let me know, guys, what do you all think? Let me know. Let's have a real conversation about it.